statement that was put out in Kirby's name earlier, which I'm going to read because it's very short. While our concerns about WikiLeaks are long-standing, any suggestion that Secretary Kerry or the State Department were involved in shutting down WikiLeaks is false. Reports that Secretary Kerry had conversations with Ecuadorian officials about this are simply untrue, period. That's not what WikiLeaks has alleged, because as everyone with an internet connection knows, they haven't been shut down. They're still publishing these documents. What they said, what they claimed, was that the Secretary asked Ecuador to stop Assange from publishing Clinton docs when he was in Colombia. So, and that he had a private meeting with, it says, Ecuador, presuming that means Ecuadorian officials of some type. So the denial that you guys have denies something that wasn't alleged.
I think we were
so can you
responding to some tweets that we saw from WikiLeaks.
These are the tweets that I'm reading.
But let me...
so can you be specific, or are you able to be specific?
I can be specific.
I can be non-denial denial.
Not at all. I'm not, and there's not. This is not some kind of wordplay, or we're trying to be coy in any way, shape, or form. There were some rumors circulating out there that many of us saw today about whether Secretary Kerry had leaned on or had engaged with President Correa in Ecuador, or I think when he was in Colombia, frankly. About our concerns about WikiLeaks and meddling with regards to emails regarding the presidential campaign. That's just not true. He didn't raise that. He didn't even engage with President Correa when he was on the ground in Colombia. They had no meeting, no bilat or nothing on the margin. So that there was no, there just was no meeting. They didn't discuss any of this stuff.
Okay, well, speaking from the state, all right, that's more specific.
Yeah.
But you understand maybe why the initial denial raises more questions than it answers, because it did not address the primary allegation. Did even if it wasn't Secretary Kerry, has the United States leaned on, in your words, the Ecuadorians through President Correa or through anyone else to get to try to stop the publication of these documents?
I can only speak about the State Department,
Okay.
and they have not. No one in the State Department has attempted to engage with the Ecuadorian government on this particular matter. On this matter, sorry, I'm not trying to be coy again.
All right, and then to the other allegation was that the U.S. was somehow involved in getting the Ecuadorians to shut down Mr. Assange's internet access in the Ecuadorian embassy. One, is that true?
No.
And secondly, does the administration, whether it's true or not, and you say it's not, does the administration believe that shutting down Mr. Assange's access to the internet would have the effect of preventing WikiLeaks from publishing these documents?
Probably not.
So it would be so it wouldn't be worth your while? Is that why?
It's just not something. I mean, I'm not going to speak to the. I mean, we weren't involved in this. It wasn't our. It was. We had no involvement in any way, shape, or form in trying to shut down Mr. Assange's access to the internet. Your further question about why not, or I don't know where you're driving at with that. You're saying, why wouldn't we, or would this not affect them? You had a follow-up question.
Do you think that shutting down, that if for whatever reason the Ecuadorians took away his internet access, that would stop WikiLeaks from publishing?
I mean, probably not. I mean, he would have.
He would certainly not.
He would have contact. Exactly. Yes.
So, so it is not then an administration goal to try to get to stop WikiLeaks from publishing these emails. Is that correct?
Again, we've, our concerns about WikiLeaks and in particular Mr. Assange are well known, but we did not have any involvement in either shutting down his internet or any involvement with the Ecuadorian government in trying to take action against WikiLeaks or Assange.
Okay, but you can understand that
Yeah.
do you believe that the publishing of of this material by WikiLeaks is interference in the election process?
Well, I mean, yes. I mean, we do consider what WikiLeaks does, which is illegally obtain email correspondence and then publicize it or release it publicly. You know, this didn't begin this past month or so. I mean, we're well aware back in 2010 when WikiLeaks published a large
Right.
amount of State Department email,
So
or rather cables.
So you're saying that the administration's concern about WikiLeaks and what it's doing is the same as
Exactly.
is the same now as it was back then
Exactly.
when
Exactly.
when they first
Yes.
started. So if that is a concern, why is it wrong for WikiLeaks to think that you are trying to shut them down?
Again, I can't speak on behalf of WikiLeaks, but
Well,
you know,
no,
certainly.
speak on behalf of the administration. Why, if you are concerned and think that what they're doing is, I think what you said was illegal.
We think what they're doing is illegal. Yeah, they are stealing information and previously government information, and we've made that very clear in our public denunciation prior to that when they
okay.
released the cables.
I understand that that's your position, but that's
But
not
you're asking
actually,
me why-
that's actually not what has happened here. They didn't actually steal anything. They were given this stuff, like in the case of the State Department documents. Those weren't taken by WikiLeaks. They were given, and the act of
They
giving.
were releasing confidential government information. But you're asking me, your particular question was with regard to why shouldn't WikiLeaks believe we were behind this? Ask WikiLeaks. I don't know.
Okay,
We
I
weren't.
will. I mean, I think
We
that-
weren't. They may believe otherwise, and that's, you know.
Right, but
I'm not going to.
can we get to, and
Sure.
I'll stop after this.
Of course.
But I mean, why is it that you think what they're doing is illegal when they haven't actually stolen this information? They have received it from a third party ostensibly and are publishing it in what they say is the same manner that a news organization would put out leaked information that
We
it had
view
received.
any unauthorized disclosure of classified information by WikiLeaks as harmful. It has harmful implications to the lives of identified individuals in some of those cables and other documents that they've released. We've talked about this many times over, that they put lives at risk by releasing that information.
Yeah, but you're making the argument that these new emails, these Podesta emails, are classified in some way?
Not in any way. I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to. I'm talking
You're saying-
about
you said-
WikiLeaks' initial.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You said that your concern is the same now as it was back then, back when they were publishing the State Department cables, and you're talking about there was classified information. But you're not making. Are you making the case? Trying to make the case that the
I'm only making the
campaign
case that
emails
I'm only
are
making
classified?
I'm only making the case that this is confidential correspondence in confidence. I won't use the State Department term for classified information, but this is information like medical records, like legal documents, I mean, like financial documents, that is information exchanged in confidence between two parties or between a party and a business or a medical professional or a lawyer. And we believe that that information should be held in confidence. There's a reason why it is in confidence.
So
For WikiLeaks, certainly what they did in terms of releasing State Department cables back in 2010 did put lives at risk. We've talked about this at length at the time.
Yeah, but it's difficult to
But-
make that argument.
But I'm
with
saying
this
that,
latest
I
stuff,
understand
is it
that,
not?
my point is that this is still private information between individuals or a campaign or whatever that wasn't meant to be released publicly. So for them to release it publicly, we believe is is a breach.
Would that hold true for any campaign or for any correspondence?
Of course, there's no, I'm not trying to
between any two
politicize
people?
this in any way, shape, or form, and let me be very clear about that.
Okay, thanks.
Clarify something on this.
Yes, sir.
I believe that this last batch that was leaked was provided by the Russian government to WikiLeaks.
I can't speak to that.
Those accusations are being made. So
I'm
it's
aware of
saying
those-
that there
I'm
was
aware of those
a dip
allegations,
period, where there were no leaks, so you believe that they were provided by the Russians?
I just can't speak to that. I'm aware of the allegations out there. I know others have
You're not
spoken to
making
them.
that accusation.
I'm not making that accusation here today about that.
Change subject to Iran.
The Iran, the US citizens.
Sure.
So I saw your statement on expressing deep concern about the jailing of the father-son, the Namazis.
Right.
Has there been any kind of contact